busy again, Sid?
Yeah, a lot, man. Killing rabbits.
Oh, not with a lifeboat, eh, Brent?
No. No, it's relaxing in the lifeboat.
Yeah, well, the tide was out
Feet
yesterday.
up,
Tide was out yesterday morning.
feet
Yeah.
up, listening to the Channel 16.
I started when I was 15 in Kersey, which is on the Mumbles Road. Next door, it used to be Ellis and Thomas and the Midland Bank on the corner. And we had a 5-year apprenticeship in those days. But you learned everything. Shaving, hot towels, singeing, and of course it was great, you know, to use a cutthroat razor, which you had to practice with, how to sharpen, how to split the hair 3 times to make sure that razor was sharp. So that was a bit of a, you know, art in itself. So anyway, you learnt how to shave and singe, and then of course the haircuts. So you got to stand and watch how to hold the scissors properly. That took months and months just to learn to hold the scissors properly. And then of course haircuts, where we go, short back in size. What have you got today? Short back in size. You've got a spike cut, which was a crew cut, which really changed, you know, just even a little bit longer, better gel, spike it up, you've got a crew cut. But I'm going back to the Teddy Boy days when I was an apprentice, and you used to have a DA cut in the back of the head, which was cut into the centre, which was great, it's what they wanted, leave the sideboards, and it was long. Put it down with solid brilliantine then, you know, to keep it down. Now what do they call it now? Gel. Same thing, solid brilliantine, gel. I know wax as well now, isn't it? It is wax, but it's all, things have not changed that greatly over 30 years, you know, up here, 8 years in Park Street, and 5-year apprenticeships, you know, I've been working altogether 47 years, so, and still love it. And of course my customers are all friends, which are mates from school, but you know, they all become friends, you know, like you met Sid earlier on, and the boys, they pull my leg a little bit and I tease them, but there's no malice in it, and it's a good laugh. And I enjoy coming to work. That is the point. I love coming here because it's like a private club. They're all great people and I thoroughly enjoy it. So, you know, what more can you say? I'm not going to retire till I've got to.
Many years ago, I used to have a couple of garages on the South Dock. Well, they redeveloped the South Dock and the marina was there. So I'm sitting in the house now with nothing to do, thinking, where can I get a garage? When a friend knocked the door, and Mr. Ralph Waite. Now, I'd recently sold him a second-hand car. So I thought, oh dear, there's a complaint. Ralph came in, had a cup of tea, family friend. He said, Lou, he said, are you doing anything? I said, no, Ralph, nothing. I'm not doing anything. What's the matter? He said, I work on some chalets in Langland. Could you come and give me a hand to do the roofs? I said, yes, certainly, Ralph. So on the Monday, I called up to his house in Newton and down we came. Well, I worked down there for 6 months, did the roof, and thanked them very much at the office for the work and the check, and that was that. But it wasn't. 2 days after, a phone call, and they said, Lou, would you be interested in working in Langland? Well, I loved it so much. It's like a little township down here. All the people, all the kids. So there you are, back in the 80s, and what are we now? 2010, and here I am, still as good looking as ever. You know, and it's beautiful. When you do a hard day's work and you go up the steps at the end of the day and the site is full and they're all laughing and screaming, the bay is busy, it's better than being paid. You think, yes, the site is nice, which I love, and everybody's enjoyed themselves. So I think that's it. But of course, in time, as time goes on, things are going to change, I'm sure. They're obviously going to develop the site. I mean, the landlords, they're very nice, Mr. and Mrs. Evans, and you know, it'll come. I mean, I'm 63 now, a couple more years. As I say, Mum isn't very well, and whether I can do it now the next year or so depends how bad she is. And of course, when I get home in the night now, I'm so worn out, I've hardly got the strength to eat.
It's a gentleman's pension. It's not so much a mixed club, although when we do the trips, obviously, which we do every year, the women are always invited with us then. And it's been generally pool, cards, reading, whatever goes on. You know, it's just it's only for a couple of hours every day. But of course now we've also incorporated a choir into the group. So that runs. They come down here once a week to their training, and that's basically the end of the story. It's they're a good crowd. Everybody mucks in, and does it. It's been going since 47, so that's 63 years. Isn't bad. I think the original one, Arthur, is still there. And that's about Mumbles Pensioners Association. So, right, thank you.
It's Mumbles Bowls Club, yeah. It's a very friendly club, and I belong to it now for about 25 years. We've got a good social side, a very friendly club. I don't live in Mumbles, but I enjoy it so much down here that I come and play for Mumbles Bowls Club. We're a very friendly club. We can't seem to attract younger players, which we would like to do. It's a great game, and you know, if there's any people out there that like to come down and have a go, we welcome them. We're going on tour at the end of the open outdoor season to the indoor, and we're going down to Torquay for a long weekend, and we hope to enjoy ourselves down there. And then we come back and we play indoor in the new Swansea Bowl Stadium.
Well, I first started with the council after I left the milk. I was milkman for 20 odd years, right? And then I started with the council as a temporary worker, and then they gave me a contract. And then up in Grossetts School. Well, I came from Grossetts School. There's a vacancy for Mumbles down here, so I applied for it and I got it. And that's when I started down here, and that was 20 years ago. No, I finished 20 years ago. That was 30 years ago, and I worked for 10 years, and then, of course, I was taken ill and I had to pack it in. And I loved every minute of it. Tendler Green, tennis courts, when that used to be an ash court, used to do that as well, brush it and all that. And I looked after this green and all the gardens then right up to Nabrock. A lot of work, and I enjoyed it, every minute of it. And I do it again if I had a chance, but I can't now because I'm too old.
Well, cricket in Mumbles began in the early 1900s down at Underhill Park, down in the centre of Mumbles, and we moved up to Marespool, Thistleboom in the late 70s when we purchased some land from the Duke of Beaufort. I'm fortunate myself, as chairman of the club, to actually work in Mumbles as well as enjoy all my sporting activities in Mumbles. So I count myself a very fortunate man, not only be involved in the cricket club but also in the local golf club down at Langland. At Mumbles Cricket Club we've got a thriving junior section which has grown over the years, and now we produce many cricketers for the young Wales sides, and hopefully in the future actually playing for Glamorgan. In recent years we have improved our facilities at Mumbles, new nets, new score box, and with the help of the community council we've just had new changing rooms built and new toilet facilities, which have made a vast difference to the club. Going forward in the future, we hope to produce many cricketers for Glamorgan, and basically want the club to thrive going into the next couple of decades. At Mumbles Cricket Club, we class ourselves as a family community club, hosting many events, especially during the summer, barbecues, fetes, things like that really make this club what it is. We hope that it's a safe environment for families, and people in Mumbles seem to really enjoy it.
I come down every day in my van and have a swim. I've been doing that now for about 18 years, and it's become a habit, and I meet some people down here all the time, different people all the time, and it's nice and passes away the time for me and gets me out of the house, and it's nice to meet people. And the temperature in the water at the moment is 6 degrees, which is quite low for this time of year. It's usually after Christmas by the time it gets that low. So it's going to go down a bit more yet, and that's quite cold now, and I'm feeling it a bit in there. So it's become a habit, and I like it. I don't feel right if I don't go in, so I must go in.
Started working here at about 1984, 16 years of age. Been here ever since. We took over, me and Stuart, about 1991, I think. Basically MOT repairs, servicing, that's it really. It's a local garage. We know all the customers, they're all in to see us. Good bit of fun, that sort of thing. I've grown up in Newton, so basically been here all my life. Know most of the people, know most of the kids, know most of the parents. Done all the parents' cars, and that's moved on now to the children's cars, and that's the way it's going this way. It's all local stuff.
Working in the garage, I've been here since November, which is 7 months now, roughly. I do a bit of everything in the garage, you know, take off tyres, all sorts of kind of stuff really. We get a lot of people in here because I feel quite a bit of comfort of the personalised kind of way we deal with people. We deal with people as a person and not just as a number or a customer or whatever. I also go to college as well. I go to college once a week, and in there I'll do pretty much the same thing as in here. Sometimes it can be a bit dire and a bit rough, but you know, you gotta do it, whatever, you get on with it. It's what you need for the MVQ to pass. It is a bit weird being the only girl in the garage, especially when you're dealing with customers, because they will come to you and assume you're a guy, and then they'll be all effing and blinded, and then they'll be like, oh, sorry, love, and it's like, oh, you know what, I just don't mind that you swear at me, it's just, and then they'll be like, alright, see you guys, and lady, and it's like, you don't need to do that, that's fine. I'm quite happy to be one of the guys. They're a great bunch of guys, you know. I've got a really nice boss, Rob and Stuart, they're both really good to me. And the guys, they just love having a laugh, really. It's all, every day you're always giggling about something. It's all pretty good, yeah.
playing for Mumbles is a great thing, and I think at the moment the community aspect of it is quite a big thing for us. And I think that shows in that a number of the players, senior players especially, are involved with coaching the younger teams. We've had a number of senior players who've come from the youth, and even as young as 22, 23, 24, then will start coaching the youth boys whilst playing for the seniors. And I think that's a really positive aspect. We've brought in a lot of the younger players, the under 10s, under 11s, come with the senior team as ball boys on Saturday. And we do get really involved as a community team, which is a big benefit for the village and for the team itself. A lot of the ex-players over the years will stay and support the club, which it just shows how much of a village team it is. You know, we've got older generation, Brian Hickson, Merv, Norman Hopkins, who played for the team probably 30, 40, 50 years ago even, and they're still here every week helping out. If it's wet, they're draining the pitch for us. You know, they're putting the boards up, getting the sponsorship deals for us. In terms of the coaching aspect, you know, we've been very lucky over the years that if and when we've needed help, local, shall we say, celebrities. We had Mike Ruddock coached us for 2 seasons. A year after he helped Wales to win their first Grand Slam in 20 years. So, you know, and he came down and was a huge influence on the boys and on the setup in general, from under 8s right up to the senior team. And you know, we had a very successful season under Mike, and hopefully now this season we can duplicate that in finishing in the top 2 and going back up to Division 2.
Well, this is where it all started for me, Eddie Wade, Mumbles Rangers, 56 years ago, 1954. And I just left Oystermore School, and a couple of mates, an old mate of mine, Jackie Thorne, said, I've just gone to join Mumbles Rangers, a club run by Billy John. And then I joined, and several others joined, and the next thing we knew, about 20 of us, all mates, were all signed up to Mumbles Rangers. And we had a clubhouse which is just a mile away from this park now, and it was something great to belong to. It wasn't just a game of football. We had, which was a rarity in those days, we had a clubhouse, somewhere to go in the evening, which they don't seem to have around here nowadays. And then that's where our football career took off in a serious way, because prior to that we were just playing local games, kicking about on the park, down on the seafront, and where Southend would play West Cross and things like that. So this was serious stuff coming up here into Unville Park, and I've been here ever since. And you know, they're wonderful memories. There is something I would never have changed, even if it would, unless it meant going to a higher level. But we were a bunch of mates. We were enjoying our football, and it's something I would never have ever changed. Even if I could go back, I wouldn't have changed it.
My name is Roger Bateman. I'm the owner of Reg Bateman Travel. The business started off, my father started it in 1950, and during that time the holidays were mostly Butland's holidays, because going abroad then hadn't started, and my father's business then was the biggest Butland's agent, well, in Britain. And also then I built, going back about 25 years ago, I built Swansea Ski Centre at the Mova, and that then helped our travel business for selling ski holidays. Over the last couple of years, our travel agency in Mumbles, the business has gone down quite badly. the local people have supported us very well, but with the internet they can get it much cheaper, and we cannot compete with the prices we get on the internet. So hopefully now in another 12 months I hope to retire and then spend more time down Langland surfing and playing the guitar down Langland. When you chat up a chick in the disco bar, take her home in your hairy car, then you find her in a school with a mom and pa, you're the oldest swinger in town. Here you come, there you go, clapped out car and no stereo, the engine's clapped and the driver is so, you're the oldest swinger in town. When the barber takes a little less time each week, the kids don't understand the words you speak. When you walk into a disco and they offer you a seat, you're the oldest swinger in town. When you won't look in a mirror in the light of day, swear you dyed your hair but your head turned grey. When you zip your hangers up, your belly's in the way, you're the oldest swinger in town. There you come, there you go, clapped out car and no stereo, the engine's clapped and the driver is so, you're the oldest swinger in town. When you walk into a disco and they offer you a seat, the sound's too loud and there's too much smoke, you like another dance but your schedule of a stroke, you're the oldest swinger in town. There you come, there you go, clapped out car and no stereo, the engine's clapped and the driver is so, you're the oldest swinger in town.
Right at the top now I got a couple of rows of spuds in. There's broad beans there, you can just see them coming up now. And believe it or not, I got some Moroccan broad beans there, but I don't know if they're going to come up or not. Somebody in the white rose gave them to me. Just by there then, you can see I got shallots coming up. A couple more rows of spuds and runner beans by here. All this will be my runner bean patches when it's all dug. 1, 2, 3 lines of them. So I can get them, and then these will come next and these will be later on. So it'll be quite good. And in the greenhouse then, oh, the apple tree up there was given to me, right? It was in the garage for 18 months. And the boy I know was going to check it out. He said, "Oh, an apple tree." I said, "Yeah, go on then." And I shoved it in, and last year I had 13 apples on it. Well, most of us are retired. That's a nice little hobby. I had a good crop last year. In the end, it was so much I was taking it on the white road and giving it away.
Keeps you fit, healthy, good food, hard work.
We got potatoes, onions, we got tomatoes, I got garlic, the vein, and I got all the herbs then in the greenhouse starting. Got peppers, chilies. So that's all we got to do now is go fishing, catch the fish, and then come down here have a barbecue with the fresh veg. Very tidy.
No, the strawberries are there. We're going to put butternut squash up there. What else are we going to put? Oh, Denise got rhubarb. She's going to go up there. And we've got flowers. I'm going to have flowers right around the bank. It'll be nice to look at, you know. Anyway, that's the plan at the minute, but it's subject to change. Because I change my mind as I go along. In fact, I might change her. Maybe not. No, maybe not. No, the bugger will have me.
I lived in Mumbles for 25 years, and I actually wrote a book about the famous Mumbles Mile with all the pubs, which is now historical as some of the pubs are closed down. And it's got a title that people find puzzling because it's called Bemused and Mumbling, because the protagonist has been commissioned to write a description of the local pubs for the local newspaper. But as he gets progressively drunker, he becomes obsessed with his own writing and starts writing that. Then he runs into characters that he knows and so on until he comes in the end to the pier. And so that's the end of the book. Well, one of the famous poems that people know about Swansea is called Dylan's Townie, because I am from the east side of Swansea, whereas Dylan was from the west. And so when I used to recite it, I used to do the sort of more graphic and straightforward verses in my east side accent. And then I'd talk like Dylan for the other verses, because when he recited, he didn't have a Welsh accent at all. His father scrubbed that, and he sounded a bit like Malcolm Muggeridge. And of course they were both alcoholics, so they had that in common as well. Now, it starts off with, I come from the city of Swansea, founded on copper and coal, where the grafters got on a council and the dreamers stayed in the dole. Where the bay is a sweep of a sabre, well, at least when it tides in at night, with a crescent of water reflecting the shore in its trembling light. And music for me was the rain's wish. Then I do a bit of Dylan, like see, it goes on quite a bit, the poem, I can't remember it all. Okay. a member of the Mumbles Lifeboat crew now for over 50 years. My father was on it prior to me, and now my son has joined. He's been on it nearly 18 months now. There's been a lifeboat station in Mumbles from 1883. The one behind me now will be redundant, for a better word, and we'll be building a new lifeboat station at the end of the pier. The pier is going to be revamped at the same time, hopefully. It'll be a nice era in the Mumbles, and we have a new lifeboat and a new lifeboat station.
I've been working in Mumbles as a taxi driver for the last 20 years. The days I work mainly, and we got a lot of work with the older people, back and forth the doctors and the shopping and the hospitals, and so they keep us going. They do working down there 20 years. You get to know them as in for the first names now, not Mrs. Jones or Mrs. Evans. Well, mainly I gotta be truthful. We get Christmas cards, boxes of chocolates, biscuits. I mean, we get it all off the older people, fair dues. They all give us out Christmas boxes, they do. And to be truthful, I hope to be here for another 20 years because it's such a nice village to work with, work for, work down, and it's really nice, it is. I mean, the view, you can't beat the view, can you? Oh yeah, it's a lovely environment to work in, I mean, and the people are really, really friendly. I mean, wherever you go, any shops you go, they always talk to you and say hi, yeah, and things like that. I mean, yeah, it's really nice, it is.
I've been playing the guitar for about, what must be nearly 50 years now. It started when I was 19. And at first I played along, note for note, copying the Shadows records. And eventually I, didn't know what I was doing at first, but I, gradually got around to learning everything. And I had music lessons. And then I got hold of the backing tracks, and it was sort of an odd thing playing without Hank Marvin in the background, I had to do it all myself. But anyway, I got used to doing that, and got different amplifiers and different guitars over the years. And but lately, now I'm older, I don't do it for hours on end like I used to. I should practice more really, but when I learn something, I don't go out and do anything with it so anymore. So I think, and then I forget I've learnt it, and so I think, well, why bother? But it comes and goes in phases, you know. It's you're all for it, doing it all the time, and then you don't know. But in the summer, I don't do it so much. You know, in the winter when it's dark, you can't go out. I think, well, rather than watch rubbish on the telly, you know, do a bit of practicing. Or I used to play up the Rock and other places locally, and I used to go out with other bands and played in places like Barry, Cardiff, down West Wales, Hereford, and so I've been around, you know, in front of big audiences. But it's so long now since I've done it that you know, you think you know it in the house, and then when you're up in front of people, you make all stupid mistakes. You get used to it in the end, but it's a bit like driving. If you haven't done it for a bit, you gotta build up. You know, your sense of judgment goes. You gotta build up to it again. Like. So, I couldn't live without the guitar. It's like a lifeline. You know, when there's nothing on the TV and it's raining, you know, it's always an extra thing there. You know, so I'd never be without it.
wants to take your photo.
Oh, another one. No, I right.
There.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, it's grand, isn't it? Yes.
There's a new roof and everything.
Yes, we've had a roof. They're doing the sides now. This is Mumbles Old Pensioners Welfare Association. We've been going for about, I don't know, 50 years. And we've just spent a lot of money on the exterior of the building, which took us about 5-6 years to find. We had some money from the lottery. We had 5,000 from them, so that was very welcome. We got 10,000 promised from the Mumbles Community Council, so that's on its way, we hope. And I've managed to find £1,200 from the Cooperative Society. So we're in the middle of having the exterior done with new cladding and a new roof. And when that's completed, then we're going to start on the interior and start all new fundraising all over again.
But at one time, it was a wonderful place, you know. We had about 30 on the committee. We had different sections. One would be for keeping it in repairs. We had even a choir, wonderful choir. We used to go around all the different other clubs and show it. We put on pantomimes. Well, I think I'm about the last one left of the old crowd. I don't think there's anybody now that was running the years that I've been in it. You know, Peggy Morgans was here with me, and Betty Saunders and Percy Sanders and all those people, you know, and even the ones in the village that had the shops, they still came here, you know, because it was a wonderful place. We used to go holidays every year and dinners and all the rest of it, you know, but there we are.